article report is on Family Relationships of Lesbians and Gay Men by Charlotte Patterson. The way lesbians and gay men live has always been a source of controversy. Despite hatred and discrimination, they have still created viable families. In my article, same-gender relationships, parent-child relationships, and family relationships were looked into. The stigma attached to non-heterosexual identities, otherwise referred to as homosexual, is terrible. Truthfully, I think that it is an embarrassment for people to not like someone based on their sexual orientations. These same-sex couples should not be afraid to officially declare their homosexual identities. While reading this article, I realized that some of the information is now outdated. For example, Charlotte Patterson says, in the United States, as in most other nations, the law does not recognize homosexual marriages between same-gender partners. So recently, as everyone knows, the Supreme Court actually ruled that now all same-sex couples have the right to marry. I know this topic can be very controversial, but I do want to state my opinion on same-sex marriage very briefly. I personally do not understand why anyone would be against this. To me, people who are attracted to the same sex are no different than people who are attracted to the opposite sex. Therefore, they should have all the rights opposite sex couples have, no questions asked. Next, Patterson brought up a really interesting point. People have common understandings of terms such as lesbian, gay, and bisexual. Keeping that in mind, most people also coincide this understanding with the fact that all sexual attractions, sexual behaviors, and sexual identities match. Therefore, if a man is attracted to another man, then most people think he only has relationships exclusively with men. Patterson really stressed that this is not correct at all. Attractions, sexual behaviors, and sexual identities generally change over a person's life course. Next, I wanted to discuss some aspects of couple relationships, such as love, commitment, power, and the division of labor, sexual behavior, problems and conflicts in relationships, and children. So first, love and commitment. Many lesbians and gay men express a desire for everlasting love with a partner of the same gender. Research concludes that most people who are attracted to the same sex are actually able to find this love they desire. Data indicates that 40 to 60% of gay men and 45 to 80% of lesbians are involved in steady relationships. It was noted that these figures may not be 100% accurate due to the participants of the surveys being very young, and they may not have found that certain love yet. It was also found that those in same-sex relationships experience the same level of satisfactory as those in heterosexual relationships. Second, she looked into power and the division of labor among same-sex couples. A majority of lesbian and gay couples desire an equal balance of power. However, not all couples are able to achieve this. According to Peplau and Cochran's study, 59% of lesbians and 38% of gay men reported a balance in power. Questions such as which partner has more power in the intimate relationship still remain unanswered. The social exchange theory includes that the partner with greater personal resources, such as income and education, should have greater power. Likewise, the social exchange theory also states that when one person is more dependent on the other, the more dependent person will have less power in the relationship. This is also referred to as the principle of least interest. Next, I also wanted to mention how most people believe that in a same-gender couple, one person takes on the male role while the other person takes on the female role. To this day, I've always thought that was true as well. However, this article seriously contradicts it, saying that this is rarely the case. Most lesbians and gay men report sharing domestic tasks equally. Third, sexual behavior. Most importantly, sexual behavior is really a function of gender. There are very strong differences that emerge when discussing the degree to a couple's sexual exclusivity. Lesbians and heterosexual couples tend to be more supportive of monogamy than gay men. Keep in mind that this data was taken prior to the HIV and AIDS epidemic. Fourth, problems and conflicts in couples. Now, this next fact I'm about to mention is very shocking. Some of the problems same-sex couples face actually stem from the same roots from which difficulties in heterosexual relationships arise. Shocking, right? This is just another prominent fact that same-sex couples are the exact same as opposite-sex couples. Religious, racial, ethnic, and socioeconomic problems arise just as they would in heterosexual couples. Financial pressures and problems with family members can also cause conflict within the relationship. The top 5 areas of conflict for lesbian and gay couples are finances, driving style, affection, sex, being overly critical, and division of household tasks. Also, being officially married was associated with lower breakup rates for both heterosexual and homosexual couples. Lastly, lesbian and gay parents and their children. The most important thing to realize here is that some of these children may be adopted, so there may be some diversity in family constellations. Also, in some instances, a lesbian couple and a gay couple may agree to conceive a child and raise them together. For example, if anyone has watched Grey's Anatomy, Callie and Arizona, both girls, they're married. However, Callie and Mark accidentally had a baby together, so now all 3 of them, Callie, Arizona, and Mark, are raising Callie and Mark's baby girl together. They actually noted on Grey's Anatomy that having 3 parents actually helps to make sure that no one parent gets too tired. Next, I wanted to discuss research done on other family relationships. Aside from parent-child and couple relationships, lesbians and gay men also maintain contact with their parents, siblings, and extended family members. The largest amount of research to date focuses on young lesbians and gay men revealing their sexual identities to family and friends, especially their parents. Apparently, lesbians and gay men first tell their close friends, and then they tell their parents, if at all. The article said that some don't even bother to tell their parents. Maybe their parents aren't so accepting, which is terrible. Mothers usually take the news better than fathers will, which is why mothers are generally told first. In my family, let's see, 2 of my cousins are actually lesbians. Kind of, my one cousin, her parents weren't so supportive about it with that side of the family. My other side of the family, my cousin was born a girl. She kind of, or she does, she wants to be a boy. She's currently taking puberty blocking drugs. However, she, her gender is technically girl. So she was born a girl, and she also likes girls. But her parents were very accepting of it. Both my aunt and uncle, my whole family, grandparents, they're all very accepting. So I think that this article is wrong, and it depends on what type of family you come from and what type of culture you really live in. Studies show that older parents and parents with less education and those with parent-child troubles have negative reactions to finding out that their child is gay or lesbian. In conclusion, the future is positive for lesbians and gay men. The results of all families studied show thriving, happily families, even in the midst of discrimination and oppression. Lastly, the article talks about future events for the daily lives of gay men and lesbians. The article notes that experiences of lesbians and gay men will, without a doubt, be transformed in the future. It's been 15 years since this article was written. So as we can see, this article predicted correctly. Lesbians and gay men can now marry and benefit from the privileges that come with marriage. The article also predicted many changes in attitude, behavior, and public policy regarding lesbians and gay men. So again, my cousin on my mother's side of the family, in school, she's allowed to use the nurse's bathroom so that she doesn't have to pick going into the boys' bathroom or the girls' bathroom. Likewise, when she goes to gym class, she has the opportunity to change like either when she's home or at school in the bathroom in privacy so that she doesn't feel uncomfortable. Likewise for teachers, her given name was Gillian, but her teachers will call her Gavin. So everybody's very accepting of it. The kids are accepting of it, which is really great to hear. They also have a club in her school called GSA, which is Gay Straight Alliance, just for kids who want to support each other, or maybe kids who are gay or lesbian and want to come out, which is really great for this. And I see like many more improvements to be done in the future. So just two questions for you guys. Do you think that same-sex couples should all have the rights of opposite-sex couples, such as marriage and insurance? And do you have any opposition to same-sex couples being parents? And if so, why?